I started off as a teenager. I had no friends and had a really horrible life, and so for me, art was a way of escaping all of that. Right? It was like I don't know. It was like a therapy, right? So I just had to write and had to express those feelings, and then later I just enjoyed it. Right? It was it was a lot more fun. And what I was doing when I was a teenager was I started off drawing and doing little bits of watercolor. I have lots of these sketchbooks filled with paintings. Some of these are from trips, but before I was traveling, I was always doing watercolor and writing. Loved writing poetry, writing stories. So I have all kinds of these books filled with lots of creative things. The university just did a lot of pen and ink drawings. Like I was never happy doing just painting. So this is yarn and cardboard. I played with like clay and wood carving and soapstone. Always had to try something new and different. I'd go for a walk along the railroad tracks and find some old railroad spikes and make it into something. And then I found other people who enjoyed doing art, and so it was more fun to get ideas from them. And then at university I took a drawing course, then took a painting course, so it was nice to learn some actual techniques and get some skills. Then as a teacher, I had summers off. I took some art courses, went to France, took an art course for teachers in France. Well, that's the best there is, right? Different process for how to approach a painting. When I paint, I'm so used to starting with, oh, take your pencil, oh, here, draw the outline, oh, here, draw this, draw that. And there was none of this. When you started this painting, you took a bit of black paint and you just wiped on some black paint. And then you wiped half of it off. And then you poured some glazing on. And then you put on like a smuck of yellow and a smuck of blue. And then you wiped most of it off. And it just looked like mud, and you're going, what? And then you put some glazing on, let it drip right off, and then you just took some blue paint and just went shoot, 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 shoot. Put patches of blue on, and again you wiped half of it off, and it looked like mud. And you're going, oh no, that's a painting? Really? And then after all that dried, then you took a big brush and you just put on a little bit of blue. And then you took your brush and put on a little bit of green, and it still looked like mud. You're going, that's a painting? This summer, I went to a place outside of Banff, and CMH, and the lodge is only accessible by helicopter. So you go to the lodge by helicopter, and twice a day you get all your gear on, and you take your painting supplies, and they drop you someplace, and you hike around for a while. And then there was a group of 12 of us, and then you set up and you paint for a few hours. And so this is one of the places where we sat and painted for a few hours and hiked. Freezing cold, people, plein air painting. I learned plein air painting is not easy. It was so windy, the wind would blow over the easels and everything else. These are some of the paintings. These are some of the kind of pictures. So I learned a new technique from a new instructor, and there's about 12 layers on the pictures, and the first few layers you take a lot of the paint off, and it just looks like mud for a while. So it's a very different technique. nice to learn something new, try something different. There's one of the pictures of getting up close to the glacier with the helicopter. And,
is this a photo?
That's a photo. It's hazy because there were wildfires. Wildfires, plus it's through the glass of the helicopter. But it was very beautiful. And exactly 50 years ago, I stood in some of these same places. I hitchhiked out west as a teenager with a backpack and a sleeping bag and camped in the mountains all by myself. And so it was quite something to be standing in these same places going, how did I do that? Like, really? How did I do that? This is the pond behind the lodge. I paddleboarded in there one afternoon. So that's how calm and beautiful the place was.
What do you like about photography? What are you looking for when you take your camera and go there?
Just capturing how beautiful things are. It's not so much to like exactly copy nature. It's to capture that feeling of just how peaceful and how lovely things are. So when somebody else looks at it, they go, oh, isn't that amazing? I'd like to be there, or I'd like to see that. Yeah. I like doing abstract art and small art. It's just like doing a size of art that's easy to handle and easy to work with. The thing about abstract art, people don't really understand it. They don't get it. They look at it and they go, oh, well, what is it? Or, my 2-year-old could do that. But with abstract art, it's a process, and it's the process that's so much fun. So it's like you play with color and play with shape and play with the materials, and it's a meditation. You just lose yourself in that process, and that's what the fun is. And you don't know what you're going to get when it's done. So you put some things together and watch it happen. And it's the excitement of, oh, well, let's see what this turns into. And, you do actually have an inspiration to start with, whether it's a shape in nature or a color in nature or some textures. And so you plan it out, but it's the unpredictability of how it's going to actually work. That's part of the fun. So there is skill involved, and people don't get that. They just look at it and go, well, it doesn't look like a tree, it doesn't look like a cat, but it's so much fun. I like working with my hands, though, so if somebody shows me something different, like I love wood carving, soapstone, don't really have just one, like to play with everything.